And we have breaking news tonight that may offer new clues as to why the Justice Department moved so swiftly with a search and seizure that turned up 11 sets of classified documents at Mar-a-Lago. The New York Times reports the government has managed to retrieve hundreds of classified documents from the former president since he left office almost exactly 19 months ago. The Times writes, quote, "The initial batch of documents retrieved by the National Archives from former President Donald Trump in January included more than 150 marked as classified," multiple people briefed on the matter said. In total, the government has recovered more than 300 documents with classified markings from Mr. Trump since he left office, the people said. That first batch of documents returned in January, another set provided by Mr. Trump's aides to the Justice Department in June, and the material seized by the FBI in the search this month. The Times also reports security footage from inside Mar-a-Lago shows people moving boxes and, in some cases, possibly changing the containers some documents were held in. Just a short time ago, Democratic House member Eric Swalwell, who sits on the Intelligence Committee, was asked about this breaking news.
We do need a full accounting of one, most importantly, what documents did Donald Trump have that were top secret, compartmentalized? Two, were these documents given to other individuals? Who else had access? Were they digitized? I'm afraid that they also could have been, uploaded into an online format. Three, we know Donald Trump interacts often with foreign nationals. Were they given or passed around, or did foreign nationals have access to them? And then why, Chris? Why did he have these documents? The reason that they're marked top secret means that it often relates to force protection for our troops. So information about where our troops are that we would not want anyone to know because it could put them in harm's way. And so 300 pages, just, a basement stairway away in an open, beach house is not where you would want that information, especially in the hands of somebody who President Biden deemed should not even be able to receive classified information.
Trump has now filed a lawsuit in response to the Mar-a-Lago search exactly 2 weeks ago. Until now, he's been litigating this case in right-wing media and on his social media site. This is the first real legal challenge in court. Trump is asking that a third party, known as a special master, review what was seized. He also wants the DOJ to stop combing through the documents. And he's requested a more detailed list of what was seized, saying the government needs to return anything not covered in the warrant. The suit also confirms Trump tried to get a message to Attorney General Merrick Garland after the Mar-a-Lago search. The message notes the, quote, anger around the country and says Trump was willing to help, quote, take down the heat. Several seasoned legal experts say this new lawsuit is more about PR than anything else. We're going to ask former prosecutor Glenn Kirshner about all of that in just a moment. Tonight, in a statement, the Justice Department says the Mar-a-Lago search warrant was authorized by a federal court upon the required finding of probable cause. DOJ has until this Thursday to submit its edits or redactions to the affidavit used for that search warrant. This morning, the judge who may unsealed it filed his own order, indicating he ultimately may decide to keep the affidavit under wraps because the redactions would make it meaningless. Former President Trump is now tied to multiple criminal and civil investigations, ranging from his handling of classified documents to election fraud allegations to suspected financial fraud involving his real estate business. And according to a new NBC News poll, nearly two-thirds of Americans, 57%, say the many investigations into the former president should continue.